Leaving WW of 16 years. My M38 spouse F34 and I have been married for the majority of our adult lives. I told her from the onset of our marriage that I was willing to work through any issues except for infidelity. We agreed that I would be the breadwinner and she would be the stay-at-home parent. I'm military and was in and out of the household with deployments and exercises. We had long-term goals for the future that kept us motivated through several cross-country moves. I continued to be successful in my career despite the demands which would leave me completely drained on a daily basis. The thing that kept me going was that I knew I was sacrificing for my family. About 5 years ago, prior to a deployment, my daughter was sexually assaulted by a neighbor. My wife demanded to move from the east to the southwest and I agreed. I moved them out there before I left on deployment. During this time my wife went out with some friends and was timed and impregnated. She didn't tell me until she found out she was pregnant. I thought this was an excuse for infidelity but had no proof and supported her and worked through the abortion. She refused to file a police report or do a pay kit. This was a huge red flag, but I didn't want to push because I understand how traumatic it could have been. I returned from the deployment and finished my time on the East Coast roughly 6 months. We bought a house at this time because we thought this was where we would retire after I got out. I visited as often as we could afford, then got orders to the West Coast. I drove 6 hours one way every weekend to see them for the last 3 years. Everything seemed to be going great. Literally the best our relationship had ever been. Until I got orders for a year stint on the East Coast. We decided to go as a family and treat it as an adventure. 4 months after we got here, my wife went on a mini staycation with one of her girlfriends. She met a guy and ended up going to see him and his kids, a 3-hour drive, on a Saturday. She told me that she loved the beach because it had wild horses and wanted some alone time to get a break from the kids. I didn't see a problem. The next weekend she ends up getting drunk and calling me the guy's name. I confirmed the infidelity 4 days ago, and am complete wreck. My kids hate her and I'm not sure what to do. She claims she wants to work things out, but I think she just wants to preserve her quality of life. It seems like this will be consuming the next 3 years of my life, and I couldn't be more devastated. Redditor's reactions, story 2 after. Redditor 1, you won't be able to trust her anymore unless she's right in front of you, and with your job it's not possible. Show your kids that it's not okay to cheat on your partner, and if you get cheated on it's time to move on. Do yourself a favor and save yourself from a lot of grief. Get a lawyer. Have her served. Do what you have to do and move on. Start over. It's never too late to be happy. Answer, yeah, the trust is the hardest part. I got a lawyer but I'm trying to get her to understand she ducked up, but she oblivious. Redditor 2, I think she just wants to preserve her quality of life. Bingo. You can't trust her and your kids hate her now. Time to call it a day. Redditor 3, quick question, when she got her times did she file a police report? As to your current situation, don't stay together for the kids. Actually staying in a toxic relationship will be more detrimental to the kids. Do you need to get an attorney to get a game plan and go forward with separation? Happier co-parents is better than to miserable people putting all their angst on their children. Answer, no, she never filed anything. I did get a lawyer and I'm trying to prepare for the long haul. Story 2, I am 35, found inappropriate texts on my wife's 36F from a co-worker. How do I bring this up without her being angry that I looked in her phone? Hey Reddit. I'm kind of feeling broken right now, and I'm not sure what to do. My wife and I have been together since we were 20, and been married since we were 25. We have 2 kids together and have had a pretty solid relationship this far. I have never suspected or had any reason to suspect there was any cheating or anything like that. The last few months, we've been fighting, and bickering a lot over stupid things. She has been a bit withdrawn, and has been attached to her phone. I haven't noticed that she has been gone or missing periods of time away from home, but occasionally does come home a bit later from work, like 30 minutes than I would expect. She also has really been going hard at working on herself physically. We both had gained some weight over the course of our marriage, and we are both on a journey to lose some weight. She's lost about 50 pounds now and looks great. I've lost about 40 and I get like we were both pushing each other. But with that has come some comments and advances from her co-workers that I've get were inappropriate and crossing the line professionally. She has come home and jokingly said that a few of her male co-workers had commented on how great she looked, not a bad comment, and others had commented on her ass and how great she looked in her outfit, inappropriate in my opinion. I've told her that I felt that those were inappropriate comments, and she laughed it off. The other day, I saw a text come across on her phone from a guy whose name she has mentioned but I've never met. It said something along the lines of, "You are so beautiful, I wish our paths had crossed at different times in our lives." Immediately red flags start going off, and I couldn't help but look at other texts from this guy. There were mentions of how he could make her CM multiple times, how beautiful she is, how he wants to hang out and get high with her. Her responses didn't exactly lead him on or play into it, but she certainly didn't shut him down either. Right now I have no idea what to do. I don't think she's cheating, but these texts are definitely crossing a line in my opinion. She is definitely a people pleaser and doesn't like to rock the boat or create issues, so to some degree I think she's just playing along, but I still can't shake this out of my head without taking to her and clearing this up. But I also don't want her to think I violated her trust and privacy by looking at her phone, which admittedly I did, although I feel it was justified. So Reddit, what do I do? Edit, thanks everyone for the support and advice. I decided I needed to confront her, it was messing with my head too much and I was going to dark places. I needed to get this out there so I could continue to at least be a good father to my kids. I told her I'm sorry if I haven't given her the attention that she's needed, but the attention and texts and comments she was receiving were extremely inappropriate and disrespectful to me. She was extremely ashamed and apologetic, and she told me it has been shut down. I asked her what she did to shut it down. She said nothing yet, which gave me more cause for concern. But after I pushed, she said she would confront him right now and shut it down immediately, which I saw she did. My head is still all messed up and I've been fighting off a panic attack all day, but after I spoke to her I get better. I will be setting up marriage counseling ASAP because I am not in a place right now where I can trust her, and it may be hard to ever get back to that. Thank you all for the advice. Wish me luck on fixing this marriage. Edit 2, everything I thought was happening was confirmed, but I have no reason to believe there was any cheating. She basically enjoyed the attention and allowed it to get out of hand. Cheating or not, I'm still incredibly hurt and in a bad place mentally right now. MC has been talked about in the past and put in the back burner, but no more. I will be setting that up this week. Now deciding if I should confront the guy or not. They still work together, which I don't like, and I'm not sure how to go about figuring that situation out. Thanks everyone for the help. Edit 3, everyone who mentioned potential trickle truthing was right. She told me she went out to dinner with him and they kissed. I'm hoping there's no more, but at this point I'm not confident. Broken. Redditor's reactions, story 3 after. Redditor 1, lay it all out. You've been MIA a lot. You seem to be fine with inappropriate comments and attention. You have been getting in shape? I was worried and looked through your phone and saw the messages. What's up? You are going to have to take the heat for doing it and breaking some trust. On the other hand, the messages. Redditor follow-up, he also needs to be prepared for being called insecure, controlling and paranoid. Almost every cheater accuses their spouse of this to invalidate legitimate concerns. Redditor 2, the last few months, we've been fighting and bickering a lot over stupid things. She has been a bit withdrawn, and has been attached to her phone. I haven't noticed that she has been gone or missing periods of time away from home. I think all that with the text there is high chance she's cheating, maybe not even with this dude, with another one. Redditor 3, she was extremely ashamed and apologetic, and she told me it has been shut down. I asked her what she did to shut it down, she said nothing yet, which gave me more cause for concern, but after I pushed she said she would confront him right now and shut it down immediately, which I saw she did. So she said she already shut it down, and when asked for details she said she will shut it down. See how she immediately lied. No matter what she did in front of you, I would not buy it. You are being disrespected and played. There were mentions of how he could make her CM multiple times, how beautiful she is, how he wants to hang out and get high with her. Do you realize she entertained this? And when confronted she lied about already shutting it down. Be smarter, she is fooling you. This is not the last time. I can assure you of that. Redditor follow-up, sadly, I have to agree. She lied. Her first reaction after being asked about it was to lie. She cannot be trusted. Story 3, wife cheated on me last year but hid it. A friend of mine was undergoing some tough times last year, so I let him move in our outhouse for 3 weeks before he could secure new accommodations. It was during that time my wife and he kissed and made out while my wife was topless. He moved out after 3 weeks and I was none the wiser. He left our city after some time and moved away, and was planning to come visit us next month, so me being the dumbass offered to host him. It was only then she confessed to cheating because he was asking to take it one step further during his visit. He was joking about how she should do what he says or else he would tell me. That's when she finally confessed. According to her, it only happened one time and she was fairly drunk, but she put an end to it when he was trying to put his hands in her pants. It was in the messages that he wanted to see what the downstairs looked like. I am at a loss here. Is it a divorce-worthy offense? We have a very happy married life, so please help me. Sorry if there are mistakes, English is not my first language. Redditor's reactions, story 4 after. Redditor 1, personally I think it is a worthy offense. Sounds like she only told you because someone else threatened to, which is not exactly honesty. Really only you can decide if it is worth saving. But if it is, I would recommend some sort of couples counseling. Redditor 2, if she's only coming clean because he's blackmailing her, then she may well have made out with other guys. She has the capacity to cheat on you, personally I'd let her go. Redditor follow-up, I am at a loss here, is it a divorce-worthy offense? We have a very happy married life. It looks like your idea of a happy married life and her idea of happy married life seem to be very different. On top of that, have you considered that you would have never found out about her indiscretions cheating had he not blackmailed her? So, in other words, she would have taken it to her grave. She only told you because he threatened to tell you if she didn't do what he asked. Also, it is very likely that she may have given you a partial truth and you may not know the whole story and all that happened between them. I think she's admitting to the minimum that she thinks she can get away with. You need to ask her to come clean. Or you need to ask the guy. Should you decide to ask the guy, do not tell your wife beforehand because she can always go to him to get their story straight. I suspect that there's more than what she has already told you. There's also a good possibility that this was not the first time she did something like this. Story 4, GF cheated on me, but her reasoning makes sense. Don't get me wrong, I am neither a cheater or condone cheating, but I simply understand that we humans duck up sometimes and it's how we react after that our real character shows up. She was on a vacation when this happened, but to her credit she immediately called me the next morning and cut her vacation short to come back. We had a long conversation ranging from everything from if she is happy with a monogamous relationship to if it was consensual and what steps will she take for it to never happen again. Basically what happened was that she was enjoying drinks at the hotel bar when the guy sat beside her. He started flirting with her and she liked the ego boost and validation. So she continued talking and having drinks with him. Ultimately he asked her to come back to his room and she accepted. It hurt to hear, but at least she was totally honest and didn't shirk responsibility for her actions. So I asked her how will she stop it from happening again, and she said that her immediate plan to limit her drinking to one peg unless she is with someone she trusts, and she has also started therapy to better understand her need for validation from others. Also, being drunk played a part, as I firmly believe that if she was sober she would never have done it. I once tried to jump off the roof of a 8-story building while drunk, as I was convinced the fall won't hurt me. But I am surprised that I am not more angry or upset. My own reaction is a mystery to me. Reddit, any idea what's going on with me? Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, it's not just the drinking. The main issue is that she likes the ego stroking and attention. That's bigger issue than the drinking. Op answer, I agree, that's why she is doing therapy, and I am planning to do the same. I am just surprised by my lack of anger. Redditor 2, sounds like you're both dealing with this in a mature way. But just because you're not more upset now, doesn't mean you won't feel that way later. Consider also talking with a therapist about what happened and how you feel. Op answer, yes, I forgot to put it in my post, but I am looking for a therapist dealing with infidelity from the point of view of the betrayed spouse for me also. Could this be the reason, or I am simply rug sweeping? I don't really feel that angry though, it's almost baffling to me. Redditor 3, how does her reasoning make sense? She had drinks in a bar and willingly went back to a hotel room with some guy. Great, she called you the next morning after cleaning off the CM and said she was sorry. If you're okay with that, that says a lot more about your lack of self-respect than anything. Redditor follow-up, not to mention she probably notices his lack of anger or care and will now see it as a golden opportunity to just keep doing it since he's not doing anything about it.